Hello everyone, let me begin with the thought. Once we were all students, our goal was to study hard, play a bit of sports and build a career, thereby contributing our bit for the country's economy. But what happens if we are labelled as an anti-national and as a Razakar? Now just to set the context right for everyone, the paramilitary force of Pakistan's army deployed in East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, during Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971 were called the Razakars. The unit formed by Pakistan Army primarily consisted of local collaborators who opposed the independence movement. This is precisely what is happening in Bangladesh today. Hi, I'm Saimik Sen. Join me as we take a deep dive to understand and analyze this further. Bangladesh student protest, Mukti Bahini or the Razakars. Bangladesh is a country born in 1971 when it separated from its erstwhile mother nation Pakistan after a bloody independence war, is facing one of its most violent crises from its students opposing the traditional quota-based system for the government job recruitment, and the ruling government is going all ballistic on the protesters. Bangladesh is on shaky grounds right now. Let us first understand what exactly is the quota system and the reason for the protest. It is basically refers to a quota present in the Bangladesh civil service for certain groups like the descendants of freedom fighters from the Bangladesh Liberation War or the Mukti Bahini, and then of course the religious and the ethnic minorities and disabled groups. Broadly speaking, post-independence the government gave a 30% quota to veterans and their descendants of Bangladesh Liberation War, 10% to the war victims, women, and 40% reserved for people from underrepresented district that also included the disabled. This left a mere 20% of the jobs for the candidates based on merit. This quota system has gone through many changes in the last 5 decades, owing to economic changes, political unrest, protest, and many more. Finally, in 2020, the Sheikh Hasina government, which is also in power right now, abolished the entire quota system in Bangladeshi civil service. However, in June 2024, the High Court of Bangladesh declared this government notification as illegal and once again restored the prevalent quota system. Post this verdict by the High Court, Bangladesh saw a slew of protests from its students from various colleges and universities. But it quickly spread to the entire nation owing to the violent high-handedness of the government. Under the banner of anti-discrimination students movement, students started the Bangla blockade. During the movement, the appellate division of High Court issued a status quo, thereby cancelling the freedom fighter quota. However, the student remained adamant, seeking a final solution to the quota issue from the government, while maintaining that the movement has nothing to do with the court order. The protests also affected the domestic train and road transportation networks. The Awami League government led by Sheikh Hasina pulled all stops by closing educational institutions, using the student wing, the Chhatra League, against the protesters, deploying the police, deploying the army, the border guard, and ultimately declaring a nationwide shoot-at-sight curfew. This is the point where I felt we should address this issue and talk about it more. However, the final nail in the coffin was a remark made by the Prime Minister herself. On July 14th, Sheikh Hasina said, and I quote, "If the children of freedom fighters don't get quota benefits, will those then go to the children of the Razakars?" That is my question, the countrymen's question. Razakar in this context refers to the Pakistani paramilitary forces which committed many war crimes during the Bangladeshi Liberation War in 1971, which I had mentioned earlier in this video, a widely hated term in today's Bangladesh. It was met with an instant response from the students who came with slogans like "Tumi ke ami ke, Rajakar Rajakar, ke boleche, Shoirachar Shoirachar, Chaite gelam odhikar, hoye gelam Rajakar." Meaning, who are you, who am I, a Razakar, who has said it, the autocrat, and when we sought for rights, got turned into a Razakar. Sheikh Hasina then doubled down in her criticism of the protesters, calling the slogan regrettable. This is an age-old tactic used by the head of state across all nations When you cannot handle the unrest and conflict, blame your own countrymen by calling them traitors, anti-nationals, and in this case, it is Razakar. Till now, the death toll stands to a staggering 180 plus, accompanied by many arrests, injured, and many students among the casualties. The Supreme Court of Bangladesh on 21st July reduced the quota, increasing the recruitment percentage for government jobs to 93% based on merit, with 5% going to the descendants of freedom fighters and 2% to people from ethnic minorities, transgenders, and people with disabilities. Signing off with the thought that justice should prevail, what needs to be seen is that how Sheikh Hasina government grapple with the aftermath of this movement.